The country of Colombia may be on the verge of legalizing growing coca leaves. Why did that happen, and what would it mean? Check this out, leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. That the country of Colombia right now, which is home basically to the world's cocaine empire, right? Colombia produces 90% of the world's cocaine supply. They export 1,700 tons a year. A piece of legislation has been introduced into Colombia's legislature to decriminalize the growing of coca leaves. There are 495,000 acres of coca growing in Colombia right now. And almost all of it is being grown by small farmers who then basically sell it to the cartels. And it's a primary source of income for thousands of, hundreds of thousands of rural families. Coca, I worked in cocaine. I didn't work in cocaine. I worked in Colombia for a brief time. Back when I was doing international relief work, we started a program actually in Bogota. And I was there several times. I was just a few blocks away from a building that got bombed. This was during the 80s when they were literally, city blocks were being blown up, or buildings were being blown up that would blow out all the windows in the city block. We were staying in a church. They had the whole back area of the church upstairs. They had some rooms, and they locked us in every night. Nothing was safe, right? I mean, it was just chaos at that time, and it was all because of cocaine. You know, John Dillinger and a bunch of his buddies made a fortune and killed a lot of people back in the late 20s, early 30s, because alcohol had been illegal in the United States for a few years. So they made a fortune with their illegal booze, their moonshine, their bootleg booze. And when Franklin Roosevelt decriminalized, well, Congress did. I mean, it required passing a constitutional amendment, but they decriminalized alcohol. It broke the back of that part of organized crime in the United States. When the United Kingdom made heroin a legal drug that you could get from the National Health Service with a prescription from your doctor, it broke the back of the heroin trade in the UK. I mean, we've seen this. Portugal did this. Portugal, back almost 2 decades ago, legalized every drug. There are no drugs that are against the law in Portugal. It's still against the law to sell most of them, but it's not against the law to possess them. And what did that do? It actually drove down addiction rates. It reduced the number of people using illegal drugs. It put out of business a whole bunch of people in the illegal drug trade. There have been efforts to do this in the United States. You know, there's legislation right now in the United States Congress. In fact, it was just passed by the House of Representatives last week to decriminalize marijuana at the federal level. Well, here in Oregon, last month in our election, we decriminalized psilocybin, magic mushrooms. They're now legal in Oregon. And any money from their sale, I mean, I'll be able to buy them at my pot store, I believe. I mean, it may take a prescription. I'm not real sure of all the details of it, but, I think this is generally a good thing. And all the revenue that's coming out of that, just like with pot sales, not all of the revenue, but much of the revenue, some of the revenue is going to go to treatment programs. Think of it this way. For all of human history, until the early 20th century, all drugs were legal. Arthur Conan Doyle, his character Sherlock Holmes, I think it's The Sign of the Four. In one of his novels, Sherlock Holmes is shooting up, and Dr. Watson says to him, "What is it today?" And Holmes says, "A 7% solution." Oh, in fact, it was the 7% solution was the title of the story. A 7% solution of cocaine. It was totally legal. Opium was legal. Heroin was legal. Everything was legal. Back when Arthur Conan Doyle was writing those books. And broadly speaking, you know, yeah, some people got addicted and there were some problems. And, you know, this is, I think you could argue that it shouldn't be legal to sell it, at least at retail, without a prescription. I'm in favor of regulation. But for all of human history, we have not had a war on drugs. It started in the 1920s. And it started as a racist attempt to go after African Americans and Hispanics. The whole reefer madness thing, this was all about racism. It was another attempt to keep down communities of color. So I'm of the opinion that if Colombia does this, it's going to be a great thing, and frankly, we should too.